It's the wealthiest real estate in the world per square meter, and it's that Redeem building is 1.5 times the size of that city. That's how insane that building is. But religious people do insane things. It's one of their traits. And the deeper you go into religion, the more insane you become. The more you take decisions that defy logic, essentially. And the only way you can justify it is God said. You know, in this case, my daddy said. So what's the latest on the 3 million capacity building? Did they just launch
I
it?
mean, I was just wondering if 3 million people will gather in a space to praise Yahweh, why can't we get 1 million, 2 million people to join us and protest?
Ah, what are you protesting against?
Like, imagine if 20,000 people stormed the National Assembly, another thousand stormed somewhere, and we did it simultaneously, like we see in other countries. They will not be able to tear gas everybody to run away. Our numbers will be our power.
Thinking like a revolutionary. Are you one?
I just feel like we've seen that the system is not working, but we are all just sitting on our hands every day complaining that the system is not working. Like, what is going to change? When is it going to change, basically?
The system is working. The designers of the system designed it to work this way. So the system is working perfectly. You and I are at the receiving end. We are complaining that it's not working for us. But the system was not designed to work for us. The system was designed for us to work for them, to enrich them, to amass wealth for them and their benefactors, which which are the colonizers. Yeah, I was watching the YouTube documentary by one guy, I think Jude something Jidenwo. I think it's Uche or something. I can't remember his first name. I did it. He was going to do a documentary about corruption in government in Nigeria, and he chose the first female Minister of Petroleum, Desiani, as his subject, just to describe how entrenched corruption was. Do you know that that lady is living free in the United Kingdom, in London? Meanwhile, she spearheaded the misappropriation and embezzlement of 10 billion US dollars. $10 billion. Well, she's a free woman.
You know, oh, I'm so glad to come and see you here, man. I missed you the last time, but I had to go out. I want to jump on what you're speaking about, right? She had a yacht here in New York City. I think that worth 75 million.
I know.
You hear me, over?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You know, listen, I want to share with you, man. I mean, listen, bro. My area is not really to deal with the religions per se, but to look at the different systems that people within African societies are using to exploit and destroy our peoples, you know. And man, let me tell you something. That lady touched missing. When we heard about that lady, man, oh man, tears. Like, where does it stop? And this is something that I'm going to pull back so you can continue to speak. But I want to speak to you about this thing is so overwhelmed among African society, not just on the continent, around the globe. It is so embarrassing. It's heartbreaking. The corruption within. And it's almost like there's a pushback to truly address it. Like, it is so normalized. It's God. I'm from Guyana originally, right? My community is a very revolutionary community in Guyana. I don't know if you know Walter Rodney. Walter Rodney used to be a part of my community, right? But I kid you not, most of those guys who came through those revolutionary periods, they are traitors. They are some of the most elitist people. We gotta have this up, and I'm saying, particularly African males, because this is where the ridiculous, insane, corrupt behavior. It is just like what are we producing when we can't produce men who see themselves as servant to their people? People have been victims of centuries of oppression. It's like, what are we doing? How did we get here?
It's systemic. It's by design. It's not accidental.
No, 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 100%, 100%. Man, I'm doing my elders' laundry because But I said, let me see if I can jump on and see if y'all live. But I hope when I get inside, I could partake in this discussion with you. Listen, we have to address the internal. Fanon, I know you know Fanon's work, right? When I'm reading Fanon, I'm going back 1940s, 1950s. Fanon's assessment of French colonial Africa, right? But then he intimated about other Africans under colonialism, not just in Africa, around the world, right? But his specialization was in looking at the colonial subject, right? And Fanon predicted what is happening in Africa. He predicted the betrayal. Why? Fanon observed that most of the people, in particular those who are aspiring to lead, they had a sick obsession with the French. They were not trying to defeat French colonialism. They were trying to join in with it. They had no problem with oppression. They had a problem being oppressed because they have been so broken, they come to identify with the French as the standard.
Yeah. I know.
And we have to deal with the psychological toll that oppression has done to African people. And I go out on a limb. At the core of most African people's obsession with Abrahamic religion is an inferiority complex.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. It's an inferiority complex. The fact that you don't look in the mirror and see a human being. When you look in the mirror, you see an inferior being.
Man, Oba, I'm talking to you in a store. I've been in my neighborhood for 40-something years since I've been here, and the Arabs still control it. And I'm telling you, Bob said that to you, right? As I'm looking at my neighborhood has changed so much. I don't know what's going on in New York. A lot of the black areas and lower class areas have been taken off by rich people. They call it the gentrification project, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying that to you, that's what we talk about, right? It's showing you like we are so unorganized, Oba. We are so unorganized.
It's by design, brother. My cousin lives in New York. He says the same thing.
Listen, Oba, I hope I could get inside and join this conversation with you. But I know this is a different topic, but I need for me and you one day to go in and look at the nuances of the dynamics of what is occurring at the psychic level among African people. Because we're going to look at the behavior, because I see you sharp as ever. And I'm vexed. I miss you this last time, but I have to leave. Because we need to have introspection. We must have an introspection. We must do what the Chinese have done. We must have a cultural revolution. We must upturn every single thing about us. There's nothing about African people that must not come up for scrutiny. Nothing.
I know.
We have become the enemy from within. Definitely, man. I appreciate you, man. Man, thank you for what you're doing, bro. I have so much. When I come across continental Africans like you, my heart feels good. But I tell a lot of those, like a lot of African youngster people, they don't know that this struggle is global. I'm telling them that we were part of the struggle. We were fighting against apartheid in South Africa, all this stuff. I mean, I'm telling them, no, this is global. Who didn't teach you that this is a global thing? Apartheid in South Africa, all this stuff. I mean, I'm telling them, no, this is global. Who didn't teach you that this is a global thing that we've been fighting and helping each other?
We've been fighting it for centuries.
Exactly. Thank you. I'll try to get back home when I get inside.
No worries.
All right, blessings.
Bless. It is global. Until we realize that we are our worst enemies, and only us can free ourselves. Nobody is coming to free us. Nobody is coming to help us. Nobody is coming to rescue us. Only us can free ourselves. Only us can free our minds. Until that day comes. I know it's going to happen in my own lifetime, because I'm not going to keep quiet. I'm going to keep spreading this information, spreading this news, spreading this gospel. We have to do away with the colonizers' religions. We have to do away with the Abrahamic religions. Then, until then, will we have peace? But if we don't, forget it. We'll continue to go in circles.
Yeah, Ben, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Once again, Sky Daddy and his morals.
Yeah, I personally believe he's a very immoral being based on what he said, the commands he gave. Ben, I'm fine. Welcome.
So he didn't give any commands. We have all been led to believe that he gave commands. He didn't give any commands. The writer of those books did all those things, gave all those commands. He controlled all those people, because that's what he was trained to do. That's what he was bred to do. That's what he was mentored to do. That's what he was created to do. He was raised in the palace of a global superpower at that time. He was raised by a demigod, Pharaoh. So all that crap, all that bull that he wrote was his own reflection from his internal conversations. I'm sure you have some internal conversations as a human being, don't you?
Yes, yes.
We all do. We all do. I mean, this morning I woke up and a young lady was on my mind while I was asleep. And this is a young lady who, me and her, we had an altercation in 2024. And I've apologized. I've tried to reach out to turn a new leaf. I've tried everything. I've offered an olive branch, everything. I've done everything. But she's refused. She's refused. And so I was surprised that she came into my subconscious mind. Of course, the religious part of me was like, something must be wrong with her. Give her a call, check up on her. But the rational part of me was like, your mind is playing tricks on you. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for it, you know? And I had to have a conversation with myself. And me, myself, and I, the three of us, we decided that we're not going to do anything about the information. And we moved on. And that it is what it is. So, I mean, a a a a boy that was raised by a colonizer for 40 years of his youthful life, and then he decided that he wants to be a colonizer himself based on the stories he has heard that an ancestor was promised a land that doesn't belong to him. Doesn't belong to him. He left his own father's land, and then they promised him a land that belongs to 10 different tribes. And he wants to claim that land. That's a colonizer mentality. Why don't you go to a land that nobody is occupying yet and build your empire there? Why must it be the land that belongs to 10 other different tribes? And you feel the need to unalive every single tribe in that land, to take the land, to possess the land and the resources in the land. That's a colonizer mentality. That's a colonizer speaking. That's the language of a colonizer. And if you fall for it as a religion, that's on you. But the challenge is a lot of us are brought up under that myth and that those lies, those stories. And a lot of people, millions and billions of human beings have been fed that bullshit from the cradle. It's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in on all sides. Judaism metamorphosized to Christianity, and Christianity metamorphosized to Islam based on the territories they were taking over and conquering, based on the traditions of the locality and based on the centuries they were dealing in. But it's the same colonizer who they branded Abraham, who believed that a voice or a spirit or a being promised him another person's land. That already goes against one of the commandments. Thou shalt not covet your neighbor's property. But you coveted other people's land. And you said they promised you the land, and you took the land forcefully by unaliving people. That's the colonizer speaking. It's the colonizer's religion. I mean, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a colonizer. He started off as a freedom fighter / bandit / terrorist. And then he began to unalive and colonize, and you took the land forcefully by unaliving people. That's the colonizer speaking. The colonizer's religion. I mean, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a colonizer. He started off as a freedom fighter / bandit / terrorist. And then he began to unalive and colonize, and then spread fear through the so-called holy scriptures. I put something on my status this morning. I said we have to debunk and demystify the concepts of holy lands, holy texts, and holy men. Then and then will the whole world be delivered. But until then, we'll still be slaves to the stories and gossips of Sky Daddies and his morality. Period.
And someone would say he's a moral being because when it comes to him, our morality compass is different.
So he's not a moral being. He never was and never will be. I mean, it clearly proves to you, the whole universe clearly proves to you that he's not a moral being because it created good and evil. If it was so moral, then he'll create good and good alone. If humanity and mankind was created in his image and in his likeness, then we are all good and we are all evil. He's good and he's evil at the same time. I mean, I tell people God and the devil or the Satan or the deceiver or the whatever you want to call it is the same being. They are not two separate beings. It's the
Yeah,
same being.
Madok, welcome.
It's the same being. You know, when you do well, you are loved.